Hi everybody, Dave here. This is the long overwaited video for Star Wars theme. I'm mainly doing this for some of my younger students who are learning it. Surprisingly, they were really keen to learn it. It's quite tough, but they're doing really well with it. So I'm kind of going to do two halves of this. The first bit is going to be the main theme, which is really straightforward, and I'm going to just show the main parts, and then when I perform it at the end I'm also going to add in some slightly more difficult bits for anybody else who wants to do it. It's a bit more challenging. So first of all, the main theme that we're looking at this one here, in first position in B flat major, and the main bit basically is where we're going. So this is what a lot of my students have been learning recently. So the very first section that's tabbed in front of you, we're going to do fret 1 on the low E string, then fret 1 on the A string. Okay, so obviously we have to do that both with the first finger. So that's fret 1 on the E, fret 1 on the A. And then what's going to happen is our ring finger is going to do fret 3 on the D. So that 3-note phrase sounds like this. Okay. And then we've got one of very many rundowns that happens. Just a short rundown here. We're going to go fret 1 on the D string, open D string, 3rd fret on the A string, and then 3rd fret on the G string, and 3rd fret on the D string. So that all together, kind of at a reasonable speed, sounds like this. Now the fingering for this is not easy, so I advise most of you do it the way that I do it. It kind of flies in the face of what I teach a lot of you about how to finger certain shapes on the guitar, but to me it makes the most sense. The rule book sometimes has to be thrown away. So let's look at what I'm fingering there. I'm doing first fret with my first finger. My ring finger does 3rd fret on the D string. My first finger's taking over here. This is all kind of normal. Open. Now I would reach out with my middle finger here to do the 3rd fret on the A string. Ordinarily I would say the 3rd fret would be done with your ring finger, but the reason not in this case is because we then have to go, we have to do the G string part and then the D string part. So it just makes a lot of sense to me. It means that you can do, if that makes sense. So that whole section all together sounds like this. And then, as you probably know, because you know the song, it just does that little rundown again. So that's 1st fret open on D, 3rd fret on A, 3rd fret on G, 3rd fret on D. And then there's the little ba 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 ba. So that's just 1st fret on D, open D, 1st fret on D, and then 3rd fret on A. So the top line of your tab there, all together, sounds like this. Cool, that's the top line. Obviously stop the video and go back through that if you need to. And then the second line is very similar. We've got when I say similar, I mean exactly the same. So once you've done the top line, it's exactly the same the second time. And then it goes into this new kind of section. Really like this section where it changes key, and this is the section that goes, sorry, there's 2 strikes there, so it's so it's really melodic. On the track, there's so much going on, so you know it is just a case of doing what you think is right. But the core melody certainly is sort of, so that's first fret, third fret on the low E, and then there's a little rest, and then we do another rundown on the D string, but this one's different and it's a bit harder. So we're going to go first fret D, open D, third fret A, first fret A, and basically it's quite hard to describe, but you have this feeling of kind of running down and then bouncing off and going straight back up. So it's, I would do this first fret, first finger, ring finger, first finger, ring finger, first finger, and then you've got first finger, ring finger, open, ring, open. It's quite difficult because there's a lot of this is called pivoting when we play the same fret but with different strings using the same finger. This is it's a pivot thing, really classical thing. Obviously, this is the Star Wars thing, which is classical music. So you see it a lot with violins and cellos, and guitars have to do it too sometimes. So so that third line was what I just played, and it's like this. So I didn't teach the second half of that, sorry. The second half is just the same as the first half, and then so that's first fret, open fret, third fret, first fret, third fret, third fret. You've got the tab in front of you. A few of my students recently said that they don't look at the tab. Bear in mind, please, that I'm teaching this from the tab. I've got it on the screen in front of me. So I am playing and describing the tab sheet that's in front of you, and if you're not looking at that, this video might not be as easy to follow. So please have a look at the tab if you haven't looked already. Okay, so now moving on to the fourth line of tab, which is the same as the first half of the third line, if that makes sense. So it's the same thing again. And then this last rundown is really tough. So really take your time with it, and I'm going to go through it really slowly. First of all, I'm going to play this rundown so you can see what it is. You're going to recognise it. This is my favourite part of the whole thing. So this is when it goes back to the original part of the theme. So it's changed, it's gone a bit more melodic, and now it's changing back. So here we're going, sorry, no we're not, we're going, so we're going to strike the E string, low E string twice with the first finger. Now I would reach out the ring finger here to third fret on the G string. Then we're going to do first fret on the G string. Then I'm going to use the same finger, the ring finger, for fourth fret on the D string. Middle finger does third fret. First finger does first fret. Then the ring finger does the same thing, the same rundown basically on the next string, on the A string. Fourth, third, first. Again, it's not conventional fingering. You could do it with your little finger, but to me it just feels... Maybe it's just because I have a weak little finger. I don't know. Do it with your little finger if you like, but for me it's easiest to do with the... and then we've got a little pause here on the third fret on the D string. And then it kind of does the bum, 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 bum. All the while this bit's happening, the orchestra is slowing, because orchestrated music, you know, it does that. Where a lot of pop songs will stay exactly the same speed all the way through, but an orchestra can speed up and slow down. So you have to be aware of the sort of whoa there moments. I'm going to very quickly play through it all, and then I'm going to put it on with the track so you can hear how it sounds when I play along with the track. So hopefully that has cleared up any questions you have about the phrasing and the fingering. But if you now I'm going to play for you and you'll hear it. So this is a bit slower than the recording. So starting from where I've tabbed, we've got line 2. Then there's a little rest there, and then we're going to line 3. And then in the original it just goes back to this. I just realised as I was playing that actually I lied to you when I said how I fingered that second section, the key change section. I fingered it like this. With my middle finger doing the low E during that section. Again, you should pivot, but sometimes in the heat of the moment other fingers just have to jump in, so just do your best, and as long as it sounds right and it feels comfortable, it's okay. A little aside now, for those of you who are looking for something a bit more challenging, the beginning part of the song starts with a fanfare on the horns, and I like to play along with that bit too, but if you're my student and you've learned it, I probably won't have taught you this bit because it includes some fast picking. So I'm just going to teach it to you visually now. If you want to, you can do this at the beginning. It starts off with now that's just this first fret on the A string, the B flat, but it's quite difficult picking because we're going to go bum, ba-da-ba-dum. So that's down up, down up, down up, down, down. So we do that twice. We go down, 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 and then there's loads going on with the horns. So I'm not going to pretend that I've perfectly got it because there's about 3 melody lines moving at once. But really, what's implied is this arpeggio here. So when I play along, I do this. I do. And that's then where I've started tabbing from. I didn't tab all of that because a lot of my younger students would be deeply confused by trying to keep up with that because I never taught it to them. But if you're watching it now and you want to have a go, that's great. So one more time, this intro that I'm going to play along the track is So I'm just going to throw the track on now and play the first, minute or so just for fun, and then you can see what it's like. interested, at the very end it sort of does a major 7 thing. So it does that. Which is open G, 7 fret G. But then it does this crazy violins thing. And, you know, that would be madness to try and transcribe all of that. So if you want to, please do send me the video. I'd love to see it. For the rest of you, I hope you enjoyed the Star Wars theme and the lesson. And if as always, if you have any questions, please send me an email or a text or something. And I will see you in class very soon. Bye!